Okay, in this video I'm going to show you from start to finish how to create your photo badge using a downloaded image from our Schoology page. So if you go to your Schoology page, move this on over, under Assignments, Creating a Photo Badge, you will see the PNG file that I need you to use. So if you have that visible here, you will just then drag it to your downloads. So take this and drag it so that it forces you to download it. And then once you have Photoshop open, you will just drag that into the Photoshop space. So now we have our image. Everything's sized. This is exactly what I need you to have. The size and everything for your work. Again, this gray and white space means there's nothing there. So anywhere you see gray and white checkers is where your photo will show up. So now we need to get our photo open. I know you're not able to see the top of my screen, so I will explain to you that the very top toolbar is a light gray in color, and making sure that it says Photoshop CC at the top. That means Photoshop is activated and you're on that. So if it's not, just click on the Photoshop, my crop button came up. So on my move tool, I just click that so I'm not cropping anything. I'm going to click on there just to make sure Photoshop is activated. And then I would choose File, Open. Now I have my Google Sync and Drive activated, so I'm able to see my Google Drive option here. If not, please make sure you go to the bottom of your, and you can't see it, the bottom docking station, and make sure that that blue circle with the yellow, or the white cloud with the blue up arrow is there, and you've double clicked that, and then again, as I'm describing to you, your light gray toolbar at the top of your screen has a black cloud up there, and then things are syncing and happening. All right, I am going to open a very goofy image of me. So open that, and now it looks like my Photoshop project disappeared, but it's actually in tabs. The new Photoshop works in tabs. So what I need to do is I need to have this image move on over to my Photoshop pass image, because this is sized the way I want it, and the other image is not. So I just have to get that over there. So I will use my move tool, which is the cross arrows. Okay, it's a cross with arrows. And I'm going to click on my picture, and I'm not letting go. I'm clicking and holding and holding and holding and dragging and dragging and dragging and holding and not letting go. But now that I'm here where I want to drop it, I let go. And I'm going to hit Don't Show again and hit OK. Whoa, that is super huge. Wow. Up close and personal with Mrs. Metropolis and photo. So anyhow, this is my really huge image. You can also see it's kind of pixelated here. It's super huge. And, oh my gosh, my little icon down here disappeared. So what can I do? Well, if you look at your layers box down below to the right, you'll see it's there. It's just underneath. So I'm going to actually drag my super huge face in the layer box and drag it below layer 0. So now this is on top. But this image is still pretty ridiculous, pretty big. So with this layer selected, I am going to go to the very top of my screen and choose Edit, Free Transform. However, there is a shortcut for your free transform, which I prefer to use. And that is Command T, which you can see. Command T is the shortcut. So if you hit Command T, oh, it looks like nothing's happening. Don't worry, our image is very large. Transform is going to resize, but you cannot see the size of this image because it is that big. So I'm going to use my other shortcut that I like in my zoom in, zoom out. It's Command minus. Command minus, Command minus, Command, whoa, look at how big that image is in comparison. This is all to do with resolution and aspect ratio and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get into that just yet. I like to visually understand this is bigger than the other thing I have, so now I need to resize it. So when you resize, you're going to always pull from the corner, but I don't want to distort this image. So I am going to find the Alt. It says Alt and Option on your keypad, which is actually right next to Command. So if you look, spacebar, Command, Alt, Option, see, find it. So we're going to hold down the Alt key and the Shift key at the same time. And dragging from a corner, it will resize your image. Make it smaller, make it larger, whichever way you need to go. However, if you are pulling from one of the sides, it might still distort it a little bit, so just be careful. And I'm going to start to not see it. So I'm going to let go of my Shift and Alt, and I'm going to click somewhere on the image and drag it around so I can start to see where I might want this to place. Now, I don't care if it's going to cut off some of the image, because as you can see, this is horizontal and my picture is vertical. So it's not going to fit. It's not the same ratio. So I will have to distort it if I want it to fit exactly all on there, but I don't want to distort it. Maybe you do, I don't know. But anyhow, I can also turn it a little bit, and if I hold my mouse on a corner, I'm holding my mouse, I'm not clicking right now, but if I hold my mouse, you'll see how it turns from a cursor kind of thing to this curved arrow, and this will let me spin it around, spin it around, spin it around, you know. Maybe that will work. I kind of want to get some of that white paper here. So maybe I need to Shift and Alt and hold this and make this a little smaller so that I can have, and maybe I will stretch and distort this. I don't know. Maybe I don't want this phone in my face. So I'm going to turn this. Maybe stretch this out a little bit more. This phone is just in my face, isn't it? That's okay. And this is where we have to kind of figure out what it is we want to work with, you know. So let's just say, I mean, yes, okay, I can move this somewhere. But let's just say I kind of like it on that right-hand side. I can do a few other things and to get this working the way that I want. Like I said, I could just move it. I think I'm just going to move it just like that. And I'm going to hit Command plus and zoom in. So it works. I think that'll be just fine. Now the other thing I need you to do is I need you to put your name in here somewhere. So I'm going to hit the Type tool, that is the T, and I'm going to click anywhere on my image. Okay, just click. You don't need to make a text box, just click. And this is your font color up here. So my font color is black. And here are your font styles that you can use. I'm going to use something kind of thicker or more bold. And I'm going to just type my name. Now, the text can be changed just like anything else. So I click on my Move tool just to deselect my text. And I can hit Command T. And I can hit Shift and Alt. And I can resize my font that way. And since I'm in my Command option, I can also rotate it. So we were just doing some rotation, and you can see how that works. Now, you go ahead, play with font, whatever you want to do, you know, just make sure it's legible. Now, obviously, some of this, we're printing in black and white, and this black against this dark brown is not going to really show up. So if you are in a boat where let's just say this particular part of the image isn't showing up because you have a darker part of your photo here and so on and so forth with your text, you can actually make this come out more. So again, making sure I'm selected on whatever layer I want. In this case, it's my name. There is something called FX. It's layer style. And I can do, for example, like a stroke around I'll move this so you can kind of see. I can do a stroke around my name. that's an opposite sort of contrast. So for example, like a white stroke. And this size is kind of big. I just want an outline. So like 1 pixel, for example. So that'll kind of at least give it an outline so you can start to see it. I'm going to hit OK. And then maybe on this camera and cell phone image or smartphone image, maybe I want to do like an, I don't know, maybe an outer glow or something. And I'll pull that aside so you can see that. So see how it's kind of glowing a little bit more on the edge here? Maybe that'll kind of stand out. Or you can do a stroke as well on that. And I can make it spread out wider so it can maybe stand out more from my picture. You can also, from this box, choose something else. So if I don't like outer glow, I can kind of see how maybe drop shadow might work. And then you can also add multiple ones. So maybe I want to add a stroke to this one as well and see how that kind of changes it up a little bit. Now here's the issue here. My name kind of gets obscured, so that may not work because we need to know what class we're in. So I'm going to actually leave the drop shadow. And if you have dark on dark, you might want to work more with, an outer glow. You could even actually change the color if that bothers you. Color overlay. You can change the color if you want. Like if you want to make it lighter so it shows up, I'm okay with that, as long as you can read what's on here, because we need to know what class you're in. So, color overlay. Maybe I'll try a different color. Maybe add a little red to go against that green. Kind of make it stand out. Ooh, maybe I like that. Okay. I know, total Christmas colors, right? And Christmas break is over. But I think I'm going to do that and then add that outer glow to kind of give a little more contrast, make it more legible. So again, these are some optional things, but it is printing in black and white, so you are going to want, to be able to see this against your image. So sorry for the long tutorial, but hopefully this was helpful to you in creating your badge. So again, you need your name on it. You need some kind of picture in there. It doesn't even have to be of you. And then, of course, the file, pulling all this into the file that I created for you. So now we're ready to print, right? So I'm going to hit File, and I'm going to go Print. And my print will look a little different than yours, so I might have to talk a little bit more about this in class. But you're going to print right directly into the lab. There will be a few boxes that come up and say, hey, this is going to print in black and white, just so you know. So just keep hitting OK and cancel that out. And you will print to printer 1 or 2 here in the lab, and hopefully if everything looks right, it should look like a small little rectangle on your white page, and you'll print it out, cut it out, stick it in a lanyard, and you're ready to go.